Hi, my name is Ciara. This is my second year going to Lake City, Salkehatchie. This year I worked with amazing people on Miss McClam's house. We were able to repair her whole porch railing, paint her living room and den, which by the way, I'm not so good at painting because I think I got more on me than I did the wall. Then we got to lay down some linoleum flooring, tear down and put up new fascia boarding. And the biggest project we did was supposed to be just a pop-out window, but we ended up tearing out the whole bathroom and basically starting over. The boards were rotted from a water leak that she had previously had, and when they added the bathroom, they didn't level the floor. They just put like 3 inches of thin set to level it out. But on the other side, I was able to use power tools I've never used before. I was the carpenter's apprentice for the week, which was a very fun and learning experience. I was trusted to cut and rip boards throughout the week by myself after he knew I was able to do it. When I was cutting once I cut a little too short, but not that much, and he told me any more and I would need a board stretcher. I was a little confused because I knew you couldn't stretch out a board after cutting it. So throughout the rest of the week, we would ask if they had a board stretcher or blinker fluid is one of the ones which we asked throughout the most of the week. It was funny how many people fell for it, but we would just have so much fun with it. Also, throughout the week, we did fireworks for the 4th of July, but on the 5th, we were invited to go to the lake by another church. We ate, played games, and then finally we watched fireworks. That week was amazing, and I can't wait to go back.
Hi, I'm Macy, and this is my third year at Salkehatchie. Salkehatchie is a life-changing ministry and an eye-opening experience. It shows just how much we take for granted. The homeowners that we serve live in some pretty terrible conditions. For example, on my site, the chimney was separated from the roof and it was leaking. Also, one of the ceilings was caving in. But despite their living conditions, our homeowners are some of the most loving and giving people you'll ever meet. They don't choose to live the way they do, but simply just lack the help and money to fix their homes. In my house, our homeowner was elderly and not physically able to fix anything. While a big part of Salkehatchie is the fact that we get to show our homeowners the love of God and be his hands and feet for a week, they also show us God's love. Even though my homeowner could not fix her home, she was nice enough to fix us a delicious dinner. Salkehatchie is one big example of God's love, and that's why it's so important.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Matthew. This is my 5th year at Salkehatchie. Salkehatchie always leaves me with a couple of stories every year I go. And this year was not any different. I got 3 stories that I'd like to share with you guys. The first one is about a dog that was on the site. It was about maybe 20 minutes until we were about to leave for lunch. And we were making pretty good time. I don't think we've been on time for lunch at all this week. This was Wednesday. So I was pretty excited. I was going to actually have time to sit down and enjoy my food. Well, stuff happens. Me and this guy named Eric were in the back of the house trying to cover up a window. And our site leader comes as well and starts petting the dog. I think nothing of it. This dog has not been trained. It's like it knows nothing about sitting or staying or anything. So he sits down, she pets it, and then she looks at it and says, "Now, don't run away." And I'm like, hold on. So I turn around, and by the time I turn around, the dog is at the front of the house, and it's loose. And we spend the next 30 minutes trying to chase down the dog. We were late for lunch. I had to stuff my face probably in less than 5 minutes. I had a stomach ache. It was not fun. My other story is about unscrewing a screw for 2 hours. That's about as Salkehatchie as it gets. So we just put in a new oven for our house owner, and we needed a part to hook up the oven, but we couldn't find it. So there's like a little box on the oven. I didn't know what it was, so I said, hey, maybe what we need is in this box on the oven that's screwed in. It sounded like a good idea. So we start to unscrew the screw. I give it a go for about 30 minutes. I get frustrated. I hand it to Eric. Eric does it for about 45 minutes. He gets frustrated. He gives it to this other Matthew. He does it for about an hour and a half. Come to find out, our other site leader comes into the kitchen and asks us, "What are y'all doing?" And we're like, "We're trying to get the screw out so we can plug in this new oven for Miss Bakes." He goes, "Why do you need to unscrew that box?" And we're like, "Because what we need to hook it up is in there." He goes, "You're talking about the part that y'all dropped in front of the yard when you were moving the new oven?" It took us about 5 minutes to hook up the oven after that. Lastly, and certainly my favorite story, you know how I said there was a new oven? Of course, there was an old oven that we had to get out. Boy, will I not forget moving that oven. So we put it on a dolly, and we're taking it down her little porch ramp. But at the end of her porch ramp, there's a bit of a drop, maybe like an inch of a drop. So I'm extremely careful with this oven. However, it still manages to fall. So being the brave and life-saving man that I am, I tried to save it. Let me give you some advice. Don't try to save an oven when it's falling off of a dolly. So I reached for it, and there's like little vent areas where like all the hot heat can leave the oven. Yeah, smart me tried to grab it right there, and I ended up cutting open my finger. So I think nothing of it. Accidents happen. I put a Band-Aid on it, and I get back to work. So about maybe 2 minutes after that happened, I start to get dizzy, and the room starts to get black. And then Eric says, "Hey, Matthew," and then Matthew fell down. Matthew woke up in the living room with a fan next to his face. So I do love Salkehatchie, but it will definitely bring you some stories when you come back home.
Hi, my name is Ben. So Salkehatchie was a really great experience for me, and I got to have fun with my church and impact people's lives. My Salkehatchie house was very different from others because when you saw it from outside, you'd think it's not such a good house to live in. But once you got comfortable with it, you would be amazed at things you could learn from the homeowner and how you could turn to better conditions for. For example, my house had water damage, and we had to fix 3 ceiling rooms, and we had to also paint a lot of doors and change a lot of doors and put the ceiling fans in. Something that I did that was hard, I had to climb in an attic that hasn't been open in 80 years, and I had to trust that I wasn't going to fall through the ceiling. But I trusted myself because everybody's there helping me. But overall, the point of Salkehatchie is to impact the homeowners' lives by giving them the gift of God and also, of course, fix their homes. That's it.
Hey guys, my name is Bailey, and I've been going to Newberry Camp for about 4 years. So this year, we worked on a home where this sweet lady lived. Her name was Queen, and she was widowed. The biggest issue in the home was the floors. So you guys know that normal floors are supposed to go like this, right? No, these floors went like this. So in 4 to 6 rooms, the floor had bowed in so bad that it just didn't feel safe to walk on. Like, I would lightly step on it, and I felt like I was going to fall through. So we had one of our site leaders go under the house and put supports under it. And by the end of the week, it felt stable. But it got me thinking. The bowed floorboards are hard times, tests, and trials, and the supports are Christ. Wednesday was also one of the hardest days for me because I was incredibly homesick, I was overwhelmed and tired. I just wanted to go back to my air-conditioned home, and I just wanted to go to sleep. So just as I was about to give up, I just heard this little voice in my head that just said, God's got you, he's not going to let you down. And that just got me through the rest of the week. For those of you guys who haven't heard of Salkehatchie, it's an amazing camp, and I would definitely recommend it. Thank you guys.
Would you guys please stand and join me?